So, Andrew, actually, yeah, could you just go in and start with how the original concept of the band came about?
Absolutely. So it all began as things often do with a phone call. And it was a phone call from David Bodanis, who is one of the founders of Jake's House, who said, I need to pick your brain. Here's what's happening. We have Roger Hodgson coming to town to do a special performance of his song that is very appropriate for a cause. And we need to film it. We need to film the concert, and you know things about filming, so can you help us out? So I said, of course, but this is such a special opportunity. Let's not just do the ordinary. Let's actually make this a little bit more special. So I promised David I'd get back to him with some thoughts, and then I did later that week, and I said, okay, here's the idea. So Give It a Little Bit is going to be more than just a song. We're actually going to have it be a performance with, I've been doing some research, and one of the areas that those on the spectrum have special abilities in is music. And so what if we were to get together a few individuals who are on the spectrum, who are musically inclined, to play with Roger and the orchestra, which was a 43-piece orchestra, on stage for that song. So David, after he caught his breath, he was like, how are we going to do that? And I said, there's always a way. So we went and we found these individuals, and Spenser and Rawan are two of the talented individuals that we found, and that we came together and we played on that very special night. And then that was the start of the band, because from there it was like, wow, what a special experience. What do we do next? And just thought, we have to create our own band. So that's how ASD was born. And I don't think that Spenser and Rawan know this, but when we were getting ready to do the Roger Hodgson concert, right up until actually the day of, we weren't sure that we could have them perform on stage because of timing. Because, we have Roger Hodgson coming in, playing with a 43-piece orchestra. They have to, during the sound check, just make sure everything's okay. So it wasn't a question of, they didn't think it was a great idea. It was just a question of timing and could we actually pull it off? So it wasn't really until they met Roger and Roger saw them with the instruments and he said, yeah, no, come on, let's do this, that it became a reality. So it literally, like, up until, no matter how much planning sometimes doesn't matter, because, that's life. That's like, they don't have a lot of time. And he's such a nice man that he encourage that. And then of course it was great. And so then he's like, oh yeah, let's do this. And then I'll come off stage and I'll bring you guys on stage. And, and it was just wonderful from there. So sometimes like that could have gone either way. And I'm really happy that it went our way.
Yeah, definitely. It also kind of makes you think as a musician to just be ready. Anytime you could just be pulled on stage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you connect with Rawan and Spenser?
Well, I actually work with Spenser's sister. So, and I didn't know about Spenser. So as I was talking about the project, she said, you do know my brother is on the spectrum and you know he's a drummer, right? And I knew nothing. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And then as we put feelers out into the community, and we were looking for people who had connections to people, somebody said, oh, you have to hear this woman named Rawan. You have to hear her sing. And as soon as I heard Rawan sing, I was like, okay, we have a lead singer. Because she was so amazing and has such a beautiful voice. So we actually just started talking to friends and talking to people who knew people. And then together we formed the band.
And what was that like for you, Spenser and Rawan, when you were contacted? Spenser, let's start with you.
Yeah, when they first asked me and told me that I was going to be playing on stage with Roger Hodgson, I thought that was pretty exciting. At first, I thought it was going to be like, I was pretty nervous the whole time because I didn't even really know the song that well until like the day of, and then someone kind of showed me how to play it more properly. So even when I went on stage, I thought I was going to kind of mess it up, but it turned out pretty good. It was a pretty fun experience. It was really nerve-wracking because like It was at the Sony Center, and it was sold out. So it was insane. And
Wow.
the Toronto Symphony Orchestra was backing him up too. So like, it was pretty nerve-wracking. So that was definitely the biggest show I played in my life.
How many people do you know?
I don't know how many, like maybe at least 1,000.
It was 2,000, Spenser.
Wow. Yeah.
2,000. Yeah, so it was pretty crazy.
And Rawan, what was
It was
that
fun.
experience like for you?
To be honest with you, it was really great. I got to perform with Supertramp, and what happened is, like, I remember that I think Streetsville High recommended me. I think like one of my old music teacher in Streetsville High School did, and then that was how it happened. And I first thought this was the whole looking for lead singers was an audition at first, but it didn't turn out to be. But I still managed to wow them.
Mm-hmm.
And on the day of, I was really happy because my dream is actually to perform for like millions of people.
Very cool. So you're not nervous at all on stage?
Yes and no. I mean, sometimes I get really nervous, upon things, but I still manage to power through them.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. And just to give a little bit more context, Andrew, could you talk about your relationship with Jake's House and how you've been involved with the charity?
Absolutely. So it's hard to believe that I've actually been connected to Jake's House for about a decade. So I first met David and Irene about 10 years ago, and we had talked then about, how I can help them to do things that would promote and increase awareness of Jake's House. So over the years, I've helped them off and on. And it wasn't until recently when David called and he said, okay, we have this opportunity, that kind of interest and it increased manyfold, because as they've evolved as a charity too, and brought on a wonderful CEO, Jennifer Joseph, and other wonderful people, they've really come into their own and really have some amazing programs in place. And so I'm really here to help in the small ways that I can make those programs that much better, and to increase the awareness that much more, and to make Jake's House relevant not only in Canada, but also around the world.
Cool. And so the band actually consists of 5 members, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so who are the other people that are part of the band?
Well, we have Ron, who is on keyboards. We have Jackson, who plays guitar. And we have Robbie, who sings. And I will also point out, it's amazing to me that even as we discover these individuals, everybody plays something different. Like Spenser was so amazing for agreeing to play guitar, which is not his natural instrument. He's a drummer by trade. So he said, okay, I'll do it. So he played guitar when he should have really been playing drums. Jackson said, okay, I'll play guitar. He also plays some keyboards, and he also sings. Robbie plays some keyboards. He also plays some guitar. Like, it's amazing how the abilities are kind of across the board. And so that's the way we look at the band, is kind of like everybody just does their part, and whatever is needed, that's what we ask everybody to do.
You've been watching Autism Knows No Borders. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so let us know what you think in the comments section. Click here to watch this interview in its entirety. You can also find us on your favorite podcast app. Tune in each week for engaging conversations of how people across the globe are inspiring change and building community. Thanks for watching. Take care.